Not bad. This might turn out to be a pretty good day. Hey buddies, I'm Matt with Bandit Prospecting. Welcome back. Another beautiful Saturday out on the river today. The river's down low enough where I can finally get to a couple of my honey holes that I haven't been to yet this year. Let me tell you, the spring floods really changed the lay of the river. We're gonna dig some buckets of material. We're gonna run it through the sluice and just have a relaxing day on the river trying to find gold. All right, buddy, so I went ahead on the way down here to where I am now. I dug 2 buckets of material, and I'm not sure if you guys remember from last year, there's a concrete almost ramp that comes into the river. And I was digging on the back side of that, the downriver side of that concrete ramp, and found good gold there last year. So I ran a test bucket, same place, of course, it filled right back in after the floods. And I ran a test bucket this morning and found about 7 colors in that one test pan. So I went ahead and dug 2 buckets of 1/4-inch classified material, brought them downriver a little ways, and I found a spot to set up my sluice. With the water being low, it's more calm. There's not as much current flowing through, so it's harder to find places to set up a sluice. But I built a little dam. Built the dam, set up a spot with the sluice. I brought my Geo Sluice back out today. I'm gonna run the material through it. It is hot today. It's only about 10 o'clock and I bet it's already pushing 85, 90 degrees. So just gonna nice slow work today. Don't overheat it. I got water, staying in the shade as long as I can, and we're gonna dig some gold. So this is my setup today. I got the Geo Sluice here in this dam area that I've built. Just running buckets of material through. There's a lot of sand. When I say sand, light sand. There's a lot of light sand in this material, but a lot of black sand also. So I think the majority of this material is the light sand. After it's classified, bucket filled up pretty quick with material. So it's going relatively quick to clean this out. But I'll throw a shovel or 2 on, or I'll throw a scoop or 2 on, and then go look at an area to see if it's going to do any good. I'll probably run some test pans here in just a little bit in some of these areas, because this is the area where I found pretty decent gold last year in just little spots. So I'm gonna hit some of these cobble areas around here, start digging, see what we can find in there. I wanted to give you a look at the material I'm running here. As you can see, it is a lot of the blonde sands in there, but you can tell it looks dark because there's a lot of black sand mixed in with it. The Geo Sluice is working its magic. Got a lot of black sand up there at the top, and then some other bigger pieces down here. But it's cleaning, so I'm gonna throw a couple more scoops on here and then go do some test pans. I just wanted to give you guys a look at what I'm seeing when I come down here, and why this area looks good to me. So I know up around the corner here, just barely right at that corner, just past that corner a little bit, that's the spot where I found like the the 26 pounds of lead in one bucket of material. So that is, and that location is just at the end of the rapids. So it opens up a little bit from there. There's a bar of sand and gravels right there on the left-hand side. And then the main channel is on the right-hand side over here. Comes down here to the river, or I'm sorry, it comes down here to the bridge. And then right at the bridge, there's another pile of cobbles. That is the pile that I tested, if you guys remember, back on Christmas Day. And I found good gold there. Right past that pile, this area right here is all light sugar sand. You can walk in it, and you can feel it give as you walk. So we know the heavies are dropping out up there. The lights are dropping out down here. Well, as the channel, the current comes and it turns and it starts to go this way, right? You can see this here. The channel is flowing over here. There's a good bit of, that's where my sluice is set up over there, but there's a good flow right here. So this, you have a slack area over here, and you can see there are big cobbles that have dropped out. So of course the big cobbles, the heavy stuff, is going to drop out first. And if you look at this bar, you can see that there is a mix of big rocks and then little rocks. And the big rocks aren't just at the head of the bar, it's kind of mixed. So you know these have been here for a while. These bigger rocks, these heavies, have been here. You can see right here is where the gravel bar kind of ends, and then there's more light sand right below that. And then just a little bit further, there's another pile of cobbles down there. I've not tested that yet down there. Maybe after I lose my thrill at this area. But so the plan for today, I'm going to take some test pans here. There's not one real pay streak. There's one real channel, that line that I see that could possibly produce a lot of gold. So I'm going to take some test pans in different areas strategically, away from the channel, and just see if there's any spot that is more rich in gold than another. So the first test pan I'm taking just on the down current side of this flat rock here, and right at the head end of this gravel bar. You can tell this stuff is packed in here tight. All right, let's dig these big rocks out of here, pan this out. Just cleaning all the big rocks out before I start panning. And of course I have to look and see if there's any pretty rocks in there. there's like 3 small colors, 3 micro dots in there. So I'm going to snuffer these up, throw a few more scoops on the sluice, and then move over about 15 feet or so, take another test pan up here at the head end of the gravel bar. You see that right there? It's a decent little flake of gold in the top part of the sluice. I've seen a couple of those. Not bad. This might turn out to be a pretty good day. I wanted to show you guys where I'd taken some test pans. This spot right here in the water, I took a test pan there and found like 3 micros in it. Then I turned around, went about 20 feet or so, and took a test pan right here. It was completely different material. I say completely different. It wasn't completely different, but it was like I found pieces of metal in there. The sand just looked different. So that told me that you know, it's kind of in a different zone. That test pan, I found about 5 or 6 colors, but like 2 of the pieces were pretty nice. So that looked, you know, that looked a little better. And so then I went about another 20 feet, and you can see where my shovel and classifier are over there. Did another test pan and ended up with about 12 to 15 colors. I dug 2 buckets out of there, and I'm currently running those through the sluice. I've got 1 bucket down already, and I'm working on the 2nd bucket. So that'll make 4 buckets for the day, along with about 10 test pans, something like that. So anyway, it's looking good. I am seeing gold. I'm seeing gold in the indicator. I'm cleaning out that Geo Sluice after every bucket, and then panning it out and getting the gold out of there. I am saving the final black sands. I'm going to take those back home, run those just to double check and be sure that I didn't miss anything. But I'm finding a decent amount of gold in the pans I'm running at the end. So I'm hoping for something that'll hit the scale this time. Remember, always fill in your holes. So here is the take from all the gold that I found. Got it all cleaned out. All right, let's go ahead and get a weight. Okay, so the scale is tared with the tray. Got the gold loaded in there. Nothing? You can't tell me that doesn't weigh. Wow. Thought for sure that'd weigh something. Okay, so if you remember before when I had that tared, it was negative 3.362. I went ahead and tared it again and put it back on, so it looks like it's under the 5 milligrams. So it looks like we got 4 milligrams today. So it did weigh something, just not enough to actually trip the scale. What the fuck is going on with my hat? Nope, that's the wrong way.